welcome back to Karin's Orchids channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So happy to see you here again. And I'm also so happy as I just got home from the Orchid show down in the southern part of Sweden, in a little city called Landskrona. Yeah, this table of full bags filled with orchids. So there's plenty of goodies for you to see very soon. Anyway, it was a very nice show, and it's an annual show arranged by the southern part of Sweden's Orchid Society. So there aren't many left in this country, unfortunately, but they did a very good job. So thank you so much for arranging this even this year. They had 3 different vendors: Ecuador Europe, KG Orchids from Denmark, and Brandorf Orchid also from Denmark. Very lovely people. So a couple of people from the Orchid Society co-rided, yeah. So we took a trip together, and starting off by a lovely brunch on the way there, a little breakfast lunch, that is. And well, there we started digging, started to chase the best orchids in order to get first and not let anybody else get to them first, the most desirable ones. So we're actually hanging on the lock to the door. But next year, we're planning on going to this show in Dresden. So this is a big show. The end of March. A little PR for this one. I'm going to promote it a bit. So, but before we dig into these bags, we're going to take a very quick look at the show. Here's the Ecuador's car. Yeah. Now we're going in. Lottery table. Looks promising. Yeah, bought a couple, but didn't win anything. Neither of us did. Look how crowded it is already. I wonder when they got in or how early they actually opened up. So you can see Ecuador stand. Loads of plants. Lots of tiny plants as well, young plants. Here's a little exhibition starting out with the KG orchids. Space. I think he did the best job of them all. Here's the Morelliana. I have that orchid in my cabinet. I'm still waiting for the flowers. Look how spectacular they are. Kind of epicatlia stuff. So here you can actually see the tags. Cage's show space. Here's a little Masdevallia. You can buy it at his stand. Everything you see here is for sale at his stand. It's just I've never tried Stillis, or however that's pronounced. This one, on the other hand, I've had in bloom as a first-time bloomer some time back. Cochineum path. And beautiful Dendrobium Catpersonii. Nothing for the windowsill. Yeah, that one's great. A little delicate one, the Helene. And of course the mandatory Pinocchios. That one's great. The Pearl. Cremorianum. Lovely Psychopsis. And up here, yeah, quite a few cotyledons. You can see the Messengina, that one I got at home. Hopefully she will be in bloom very soon. Look, an amazing display. Now let's move over to the Ecuador Europe stand. Yeah, looks quite amazing as well. But I like it when they use tree branches to hang orchids on. Jeez, what a huge and grecoid flower on such tiny plants. I wonder which. Yeah, it's a hybrid lace star. I want to get it. I need to visit the website. But I didn't really dare to stick down my hand and grab the tag. So that one's the Carnia, Purpurata Carnia. At least that much, you know, I recognize. Probably a species or something like that. And Dendrobium. And Dendrobium as well. Might as well just be a hybrid, but anyways, this one is a hybrid. These guys, so the back row, hybrids. This one's not. Too bad with the tags. The Ciclia and Bulbophyllum, Arfacianum. So here's the brand of orchid stand. I just, placed a couple of orchids there in a haze, but must have. That is a lovely variegated, formed orchids, I don't know. Metonius crosses and stuff. Dendrochilum. Or Chilium, perhaps. Yeah. Gorgeous paths. Yeah. Dendrobium. This Usitana. I got this one at home, always in bloom. And this Brassivola type. I don't know if it's a species or a hybrid. Can't see the tag. But that puts out an amazing display. So, what do you think about the little show? Oh, such a nice little cozy show. Beautiful people. Anyways, now it's unbagging time. So, we realized that the Dracula disease spread at the show. A friend at the society grows her Dracula orchids extremely well on the windowsill. And I was lying to you guys some time back about me wanting to wait until Christmas, or at least November, to see if this one, this Dracula solii, would make it before I went ahead and got some more Draculas. Looks like it's gonna make it. And it's mid-September. Yeah. So I waited a little bit at least. But I got a couple of new ones. She was so excited. It really Yeah, it was just like a plague. Passed it on to all the rest of the people. So, everybody got a couple of Draculas. Yay. Look at this beauty. Look. How many spikes. And look at the health of the plant. And it's in bloom as well. I should have filmed her a bit earlier. So now she's going over, unfortunately. But I was opening her up at the show to show some guys. But now she's dry. Yeah, she's dried out a bit. But looks something like this. Yes, a little monkey face. Anyways, that one's spent. But she's got a couple of others which aren't. This one's spent. This one's not. And this one's not. Yeah, they like to be in spike, these guys. It's not uncommon for them to create a lot of spikes. But the crucial part is when it's time to open up the buds. They seem to, at this stage, kind of sort of, like this one is, they seem to start wilting instead of opening. That's my experience. That even happened in high humidity for me. So this one I'm going to try to keep on the windowsill. Just try to do it, see what happens with the spikes. If they develop nicely on the windowsill next to the fogger, just where, next to the masdevallia, which is doing great, by the way, the Ignia. I will keep it on the windowsill. If the spikes do not want to open, well, I'm going to put it in the higher humidity in the cabinet. You might be interested in what it is. It's Dracula pubescens, and that means hair. As you can see, 10 to 18 degrees. Yeah, not 10, but 14 perhaps I can give it in the winter. But it looks very great. A couple of black stuff here, I can cut them off. Some damage here, but it's overall a very good plant, I think. Drop a comment if you agree. Net basket. Traditional way of keeping a Dracula in hanging baskets. Alright, that was the first one. We got a glimpse of the flower, but here you can see a little picture of it as well. So many beautiful spikes. It came at a quite good price, about 23 euro, could it be? If I convert Swedish crowns, 250. So, but it's a good sized plant and in bloom, so it's well worth it. Well, plant number one. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Look, Cattleya germanii. It says warm. And it says Equagenera. And it says 35. So it means 35 euro. Yeah. It's not a bargain price, but it's alright. As this one is, at least it's been for me, very difficult to get hold of a decent size. If you check the websites, you'll notice no good sized Germania out there. I had two smaller ones from Orchids and more, which both caught scale, so they're no longer with us. So I failed big time. Those two little guys claim to have 1 year to flowering size. That's hilarious. Had at least 5 years to flowering size. Look at this one. It's a medium-sized one, but still is large. So I just had to grab it. It was the only sample, the only one. I've seen better Cattleyas, but it's alright. What on earth? No pot? Alright, bark and grow stones, and no pot. maybe it took up too much space when the Equagenera people were trying to transport it from Germany to here. So it would fit the box better or something like that. So yeah, leaves me no choice really. Don't know if there are any live roots here. There are old roots, but I can see new growth at least coming. It's gonna be so it's alright. It's alright, but it's gonna take a while for this orchid to acclimatize and bounce back. As this is not the time of the year to mess about with the Cattleyas roots when not in active growth. So yeah, but well, it will be alright. So see this one. This one is gonna accelerate its growth speed due to what's happening here. The orchid was gonna try to save itself at any cost. That's how Cattleyas work, by my experience. All I'm saying is by my experience. I keep forgetting to tell you guys. Speaking from my own experiences many times. Yes? Yeah, but it's been blooming before. Yeah. There's a stem here. So it's actually came out of flower from this one. Not only a blind sheath. So, flowering size Germanii. Finally. I love species. The Callia species. They are so gorgeous. Relatively similar to, in shape and form and color combination to the Persivalianas. But never mind. They may not bloom at the same time. The Persivalianas are Christmas bloomers. These guys I do not know, but I can look it up. Yeah, so over to the next orchid. I'm not going to ramble about too much. And there's another one which needs to be repotted. Yes, sirree. But these things happen. Doesn't matter. I was asking the guy at the KG Orchids if this one carried any roots underneath there, as I thought it looked very, very newly repotted. I didn't want to buy an orchid without any viable roots, as I haven't been so lucky with this particular one in the past. So I was just a little bit curious before I went ahead and bought it. It's an Angrecum elephantinum. Very rare, very sought after, relatively expensive when you see it. I had one a couple of years ago, this size, or it's not even this size, just a couple of centimeters, 1 inch or 2 inches wide. No, not 2, 1 inch wide, yeah. I kept it alive for about 1.5 years, so hooray for me. I was proud of that achievement, but suddenly it failed. So I figured if I got a new one, another one, that one would be perhaps the same tiny size, which I didn't want. So this one, it fell out of the pot just in front of my nose. So we could see that it carries root tips and root tips and root tips, and these old black ones are sturdy and not soggy. Yeah, now I need to repot it, as it already fell out at the show from the pot. So, and it's going to sit in bark and perlite. It's a very, very nice Angrecoid and good sized for being this type. I was planning on replacing it anyways, but as I said, I didn't really dare to buy another one, to risk a tiny one again. Yeah, over to the next one. And that would be something I hastily bought. And we were on our way to the car, almost. 1 foot out of the door. I suddenly recalled that, wait a sec, I need to get something for my dog sitter. Babysitter, yeah. Kind of, sort of. Yeah. So I got a Phalaenopsis bronze Buddha for my sister's family who helped me out that day. And this one for myself. You might say that it's a regular Phalaenopsis. Nothing to write home about. But I'd say it took my breath away. Look at it. It looks almost like it's bubbly in a way. Tridimensional. I hope the camera catches its colors. Can you see? I think this one is amazing. I just saw it behind the other one and just, oh, it took my breath away. I just had to have it. And a lot of buds. New flowers to come, as it should be. This gorgeous foliage, gorgeous root system, well packed, well everything. Yeah, it's a little leaf that. Yeah, I wonder if I can find a trade name for this guy. And if I can, I will give you a pop-up. Or maybe you guys has got a trade name for this beauty. I will gladly accept a couple of suggestions in the comment section. If you help me out, I'll be happy. Yeah, I love when we can find trade names for my beautiful Phalaenopsis hybrids. So, it's a gorgeous plant. So happy I got it. Look. So beautiful. From a distance as well. Really, it's kind of sort of protruding details. Tridimensional, as I said. Ah, yeah, really stunning. Yeah. Now, you can see green leaves. What is it? Yeah. Recognize this one as a da-da. Yeah, from Hassinger Orchid. Don't know what that is, but distributor is from the brand of Orchid, Dracula Vampira. Yes. Look. It's definitely not as wide as the one I got from Grossrechner. 2 years back or 2.5 years back. But it's the best one I've seen this far. Came at a very good price. About, let's see, 20 euro. Yeah, 20 euro for a Vampira. This condition. Let's see now. New growth. Probably new roots down there. Coming out from that growth. Shiny, beautiful foliage. But well, somebody cut off the end bits of the leaves, but I guess that's the way it goes. These guys. Yeah. I'll just let it sit there in its moss. It's very damp. Really wet. As a matter of fact, it's wet. Let's try out the Vampira again. It's the best one, I think. One of the best, at least. Mine was producing multiple flower spikes. But as I said, when we're looking at the pubescens, loads of buds, which never really managed to open up. It stopped at a certain stage, and then just withered away. So maybe I'm going to be luckier this time. But maybe a net basket would be more appropriate. So the spikes won't stay down there in case they will be produced from underneath there, from the bottom. Yeah, I got plenty of net baskets. So it's easily arranged. Yeah, over to the next one. Yeah, let's grab the last Dracula whilst we're at it. It's alright. Yeah, I can see it's a spike. Yeah. Alright. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, this one is also, yeah, it's a spike. I do not remember that it wasn't spike. Perhaps I just didn't see it. But it's also very nicely grown plant from the Brandorf. stand Dracula Cordoba. Yeah, Cordoba. I don't know how that's pronounced. But look, several new growth there. 4, at least. Good new roots. Very healthy plant. Only a couple of leaves somebody cut off, but it's all right. So it's not only us, Dracula beginner growers, who needs to cut off the end tips of the leaves. So probably it happens anyways. It's gorgeous. I had this one before, as I said, but all of my Draculas died come autumn. Yeah, thriving throughout the summer, dying come autumn. I kept them too wet, too damp, so they probably caught some kind of rot in there. And that cabinet was a lot more humid. I used to keep water, running water, to the bottom of it as well. So it was so terribly wet and damp, that cabinet. Now there's no water to the bottom. So the orchids in there are doing a whole lot better. I can tell you that much, guys. So, you still got that option, if it doesn't work, to keep them on the windowsill. I never tried that before the solii, so I would do it. If Sophia can do it, I can do it as well. At least I can try. Yeah? Yes, another orchid. You're gonna laugh. Yeah, you're probably gonna laugh at me. But I could not resist it. It's a lovely orchid, which I already got 2 of in my collection. So this will be number 3 of the same type. As I just have to have it in bloom, I want the Hirsutissimum to bloom before I'm retired. Something like that. So, now, we're getting there. This one certainly looks like it's soon going to be blooming size. One new fan coming. That one and that one. And they're both empty. So I'm gonna show you guys my other ones. Here we got them. Look at this tiny one. Look. This is also the Hirsutissimum. Look how different their foliages are. So slim, slender leaves. And that one's leaves are a lot wider. Of course, it's a lot bigger plant. I mean, but yeah, I got this one for quite some time now. It's growing, but it's not growing as well as I would have wanted it to. So it's going to take a couple of years for this one to become flowering size, if it makes it that far. Well, there are spider mites and stuff to consider, which can take the whole plant down if not careful. So, along the way, I mean. So it's a lot better to get a flowering size, or at least near flowering size one. And I got something similar, or maybe it's a variety. Escurolei. Yeah, Escurolei. It's a variation of the Hirsutissimum, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, also slim. But it's getting there. But as I love these guys' flowers so much, I don't mind having 3. So I was so happy. It's very cheap. They all came at the same price, so about. All right, let's jump right over to something else. There's still one plant left. It's an Oncidium type. Look at the size of the flowers. See? Exceptionally wide for being a dancing lady. And I simply love this striking yellow color on the dancing ladies. Look how wide. I've never seen these types of flowers this wide before. Never. This is my favorite type. This is what I'm after. Yeah, you can get the Münsterland, Oncidium Münsterland. But they always, and I mean always, yeah, take me for my word, come at a terrible, wrinkly state. Bad, wrinkled pseudobulbs, which always rots away. They always lose their existing roots eventually and get even more wrinkled than they were to begin with when you first got it. So that's similar flowers, but a lot tinier on the Münsterland. And why I'm mentioning the Münsterland is because it simply is the only type they are selling out there at the garden centers for the time being. I've had better dancing lady, yellow dancing lady Oncidium plants before from the garden centers. A lot healthier, with a lot better pseudobulbs. So, this is a miracle that I found this one. And it's not a huge size plant. And its pseudobulbs are plump. You can tell it's an Oncidium type at least, by the wrinkles. But it shouldn't be wrinkled. Yeah. That's a huge difference. You can tell it's got a lovely root system. And it's still got plenty of room here to put out some new growth. So I do not need to repot it yet, which will disturb the orchid. So, Oncidium Jansuyer CT 3-star. You can find this one at the Svarte web shop for about €14. So I paid, about €16 for this one, but I don't care. This one is in bloom and is a good sample of this plant. It's a big difference to actually be able to stand there and look at the plant, hold it in your hand, and feel it before you buy it. It's probably called Oncidesa. It's got loads of the Gomezes in its heritage. And this one is a cross between Oncidium Sweet Sugar and Oncidium Golden Shower. So hopefully this one is gonna be, or shall we say, remain relatively tiny sized, or medium sized. But it's alright if it won't stay tiny. I love this plant. Downside is, but it's not fragrant. But you can't win them all, as I always say. I'm so happy I found it. Nobody actually wanted it. It just stood there amongst the other ones. Not in bloom, so people probably thought it was a very common one, so why get it when you can get it at the garden centers? But it's something else, so they didn't even bother to look at the tag, which I did. So happy. Yeah, that was the haul. Let me know what you think about the haul. Yeah, I think I'll call it a day, and we shall talk soon, and thank you all so much for joining this channel today. Bye bye. Love you all, guys. Drop a comment if you wanna.